Okay, so start recording and posted. Okay. Okay. Hey, Bowsy. Nobody else is talking. I'll actually give you guys permission to talk as well.
I was supposed to be out of here, okay?
Hello, Pegasus.
Someone else do some filler. Sting something fancy. There you go. Just keep that up. I'll be back.
Okay, so you guys can speak now. Bowsy, if you wish, you can speak. You should be able to. Still muted?
They're all muted.
They're all muted. Permissions. Gave you guys permission to speak.
No, don't give them permission to speak. You're explaining.
Guest. Staff. I figure it's best to give you guys permission if we're going to just do the whole ask questions kind of deal. Administrator as well. That should be everybody. Okay, continue. Okay, try now.
Everybody's still muted.
Okay, that's fine, Pegasus. Bowsy, can you disconnect and reconnect to the voice chat? There we go.
Yay.
Hi. Okay, so this is actually the after session. We just got done with the dev meeting, setting people up with stuff, and just generally trying to make sure that everybody understood kind of what was going on. Basically this part here is you guys able to ask questions about what's going to be coming up in 4.0. We're going to give you guys basically a rundown of what's going on, everything and anything that you guys wish to know. For instance, we're rewriting Runecraft completely from scratch. We've stated this several times. 4.0 is a completely from scratch Runecraft. We're trying to ensure that there are very limited bugs. And any bugs that we do have are with, with the project structure as how it is, which 3.1.1, the project structure is basically everything goes in X file. Like it's literally all in one file. With 4.0, we wanted to mitigate that. We wanted to basically say, okay, everything is in its own separate file. So if something's wrong with Accelerator, we go to the Accelerator page. We don't have to spend time searching and everything. It's just there. So 4.0 is completely from scratch. That's the fun stuff. Plugin.
That's it, yay.
Okay. Yep. Another thing is that the API system, you guys will have access to the API system later on. When 4.0 comes around, you guys will have access to an API system that will allow you to create your own plugin to, well, essentially,
if you want to add your own runes to Runecraft, you will be able to, in a sense, basically.
Yeah, go ahead and Kosen, go ahead and speak. I'm responding to this message.
Sure. So it's being set up in such a way that we have a core set of classes and stuff that you'll be able to hook into, and from there you'll be able to add your rune, your pattern, its rune function, and everything to the plugin. So every rune, at the very least, you have more specialized ones. But every rune, at the very least, is going to have a pattern and a rune function. Rune function is called when is called when it's activated, and other rooms will have activation fields, you know, like ward, levitation, stuff like that.
Yes, even the runic economy. We're going to be having a configuration file as well, so you guys will actually be able to. Welcome back, level 80. You guys will actually be able to change pretty much every single runic material. Torches, redstone torches, you know, redstone, everything. You guys will be able to specifically, you know, change the energy level for each thing. If you guys have it set to 0, technically, yes, you will be able to add overcapture again yourself via your external thing.
And that's been a big thing that we've been pushing for this update, the configuration. You'll be able to configure the energy for everything, you know, it won't have to be all baked in, you'll be able to change all of that. And if I have my own way, pretty much everything is going to be like stupidly configurable to a point where it almost, you know, will be ridiculous, but you'll be able to like make things kind of your own. And we'll, you know, add levels of configuration as we're able.
The reason why we're not going to add overcapture into this one is because we are actually going to be adding a rune called Domination. Domination will basically, instead of doing it into a mob egg, it will put it into a book and keep all of the data with it. And I believe we're looking at doing like a mass domination, which will basically gather up all the creatures within the area. Or you'll be able to like right-click each one separately, that sort of thing. We're going to try to make sure that you can, you know, have that access, you know, to separate it out. Yeah, we plan on having that possible. You could actually use pressure sensor and teleporter, but that's just me. Again, we are planning on doing domination, which will allow you to capture mobs into a book and, you know, put them away into a chest if you'd like. That's actually been fixed in the more recent updates. Yeah, but chest archives.
You know, if you want to build a what is it that I'm thinking of? The thing up in the snowy place that they store all of the seeds and genetics and all of that. If you want to build one of those yourself, you can in Runecraft. So if you want to keep that weird looking horse just because you can, put it in a book, throw it in a chest, put it in a snow biome, and you're good. I mean, we're problem solvers here.
We actually do have a lot of runes up and coming. I'm going to post the Trello, both here and when this goes up on YouTube, the description. The Trello here, after V6, or V6 and after, runes V6, if you look in the to-do, V6 and after are all the new runes, V6 being a small portion. You'll be able to see every single new rune that we plan on currently doing. This does not mean that, you know, this list isn't going to be extremely long afterwards. This is just strictly currently what we have right now. So, like, Magic Lasso is going to be coming back. We're going to improve the ray tracing, everything along those lines. You know, Sleepwalker, which will allow you to essentially separate yourself. It's going to be very much kind of astral projection-y. You're going to go into spectator mode. We're going to put the character into spectator mode. There is going to be a zombie that is spawned with quote-unquote all of your items, and you are able to go around the map. You activate it again, and you are returned to the spot where the zombie that has all your items is. This makes it so that way, you know, if somebody wants to kill you, they can. You know, it's going to be very much a pro versus con kind of deal. You know, you'll be able to go around the map and look at things in spectator mode, but you won't actually be able to enter into a place via spectator mode and go into survival and, you know, break and enter. It's going to be strictly reconnaissance kind of deal. Yes, they will. So you'll be able to actually enter somebody's quote-unquote dreams or whatever, whatever you want them to do. They'll be able to see each other, that sort of thing. There's a lot of stuff that is planned. If you guys have any questions about that stuff, go for it. I'm reading the chat at the very least.
Well, there's a lot that's planned for runes alone, but I mean, I'll boast my chest out and say it. Everything in 4.0 is kind of new. The energy system's still going to be there, but it's changing a little. And there's some other systems, and there's new integrations, and there's new runes, and some of the old runes are going to do new things. It's still going to be the same old Runecraft that everyone loves, but we're going to give it a nice new little bell and whistle and tie a nice pretty bow on it, send it on its way, and see what happens 15 years down the line when it gets its driver's license. And
I know. We've said it too. It's his voice is great.
Somebody once told me I should be on radio. It was one of my old teachers.
Also, if you did an audiobook, I'd listen to it.
50 Shades for the first audiobook. Hey.
I'm really glad I went and grabbed a beer. Let me just leave that now.
Oh, Miss Moth can set that up for you.
I think actually this is totally off topic, and I'm sorry. I think being a voice actor would be the coolest job in the world, because think of how lazy you are. You sit in a room all day and talk. You get paid to talk. You don't have to do anything really. You're not like running around like an actual actor. You're just talking and getting paid for it.
How lazy are you as a developer?
I'm already 10 times as lazy as a voice actor, and I probably make 20 times as much.
Exactly.
This is a good point.
So, but a lot of things are changing. Like, we're going to be doing, yeah, but that's just one day of work. Yeah,
No,
pretty much.
Just making a joke, mostly.
But, a few things are changing. For instance, there's going to be the whole, there's going to be the API. You guys will be able to create your own runes. You guys will be able to change up our runes. Technically speaking, I believe one of the ways that we were talking about was that you guys would be able to override some of our rune stuff. The only thing that would be pretty much static is our rune patterns. I believe is something that we had talked about.
So anyway, there's a new system for Runecraft that it does some things. It's really, you guys are gonna let's see, it has stuff part of it. It's gonna be written for 4.0. And just everything that you'd expect from it, it'll be there. It'll be really.
Yeah.
Is that as vague as I can get?
Pretty much. The energy system will still be there. We might tweak it up a little bit because we're not sure if we like the idea of you burning stuff to get energy, because that's just too easy. So that's something that we might change. I asked that question a while ago, but everybody got pissed off and just kind of left it alone.
The other thing that we're thinking with energy, I don't really want to outright say because we're not totally sure that we're doing it yet, but if you've played Dark Souls, you may have a bit of an understanding what could potentially be coming to the energy system. You may not, like I said, nothing for sure, but it might be kind of neat, and it may tie into another route. I guess what I'm saying is don't spill all your energy in one place. It makes a mess on the ground, and somebody's gonna have to clean it up.
Yeah.
Dark Souls rune and Runecraft confirmed.
Yes. We plan on doing no, not necessarily. We could do that, but it's how much is 1 XP?
Will occur. What's more, it will occur at a given time.
This.
Like that's kind of the major question is how much is XP?
It's about half as much
1
as 2
XP is
XP.
1 XP, obviously.
Right?
Yeah.
But how in terms of energy, how much is 1 XP? That's always been the question is where can you get that? Because you can purchase it via emeralds from villagers. You can make a farm. You can just randomly kill mobs. You can kill players, and you get XP. So where do you kind of draw that line? Is kind of the major issue.
Yeah, on my server, they used to have a whole bunch of people setting up a bunch of mob grinders and sitting there overnight just to beat them and get XP in the morning.
Yeah, and XP grind takes a while to farm at an farm. Yeah, it's pretty quick. Yeah, you can go pretty quick. But you also got to ask the question of, for an XP bottle, how much for an XP bottle? How much does an XP bottle give? It's completely random in terms of its amount of levels. So it's kind of
the 40 levels that you're talking about, it becomes progressively more difficult to get to higher and higher levels. Whereas if we're talking about experience per energy, that would be linear.
Yeah. That's kind of.
Although we're talking a little bit about that, like a soft cap where it starts getting harder and harder to get energy when you're near the top.
I think so.
We talked about a bunch of different things. Like that's like my longest text file, the energy thing. So yeah, that's very much in flux. This is just what we're talking about now. Like it might change, we don't know, but we've talked a lot about this, and we're really wanting this to be the best it can be. So I wouldn't worry about it too much.
So one of the things though is that we probably won't allow you to quote unquote burn XP for energy. Like you can burn the XP bottle. Currently it's set to like 5,000 energy per XP bottle in the latest version, simply because people were abusing it. But we do plan on getting stuff available for that. We're gonna try to make sure that everything is the best that it can. That's the major point of this, is that we want Runecraft literally to be the best that it can. We probably won't allow you to do like burn XP, at least not via the core plugin. You can more than likely make an add-on if you truly like to, but it's kind of just similar to a lot of stuff like I'm trying to think of the best example. Like
have you already talked about the caps?
I have not, no.
Okay. So what I was basically getting at with getting all over the place and making a mess, we haven't decided that we're doing this, but it was brought up and discussed, so it's entirely in the realm of possibility. Think of Dark Souls. You die, you lose your souls. They're there on the ground. You have to go scoop them up and put them back in your pocket. Oh man, I've just got all these souls. They're all over the place. But what if your energy was the same way? You accidentally drop energy when you die. Well, you had 5,000 energy. You died. Now you got 20. You might be able to buy a soda at the Runic energy store, But if you go back to your place of death, you can recover that energy. Again, this is just kind of one of those things that we've discussed. It's not necessarily confirmed. It's not.
It's currently in development. Quotes.
Just like Half-Life 3 itself.
Good luck
we'll
with
find
that.
that.
Both of those things are confirmed in development. You can quote us on this.
Yes. Make sure that you put in this big banner that you take out the ad in New York. Level Eddie confirms Half-Life 3 is in development. And Dark Souls Rune is in development. And then I'm just sitting there with both thumbs up like, I have no idea why I'm standing around here.
Kind of mismouth, yes.
So anyway, that's kind of what we talked about, is maybe dropping energy on death. And on that note, we've talked about capping the energy. There's no reason any person in the world needs 480 trillion energy. That's just, that's out of this world. That's insane.
You may as well have energy disabled at that point.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, one of the major things that we currently have an issue with the current version is a lot of people have been creating farms and just, here's my 50 million energy, here's my 500 million energy. Well, do you really need that much? Like, what do you got to do with it kind of deal? So we are actually going to be setting a, like, hard caps that admins will be able to, change. What do you gotta do with all that Runecraft energy? Just create everything. But you're going to be able to just generally get rid of, hay. You can do that with your add-on if you'd like. The reason why we wanted to make it so that way it. Okay, I'll get to the reason why Flight is no longer a rune, a skin rune, here in a little bit. But essentially, we're going to be doing a hard cap on the energy that's configurable via the server owner, the server admins. The defaults we stated for tier 7 is going to be for a tier 7 cap is going to be 5 million. That's default. Now you'll be able to change that if you're the server admin, that sort of stuff, but we figure 5 million is a pretty good cap. The reason why Flight is no longer a skin rune is literally because you miss all the danger. Like, you literally just fly over everything. There's no danger anymore. There's no challenge. Yeah, Flight is OP. Well, we wanted you to, if you're going to go exploring, we figured if you were going to go exploring, we wanted you to still have a bit of a challenge. That's why we made it an AoE. That way in your base, wherever you create these runes, it's, you're OP. But if you're going to, go exploring, we wanted you to still have that problem of,
And the thing that I brought up in the closed meeting that, everyone really, I want them to understand as well. Runecraft is not the Runecraft that it once was. I mean, trust me, I started using it early on. I had fun. I loved what it was. But Runecraft is like, and I'm trying to think of the best way to put this that is not in one way or the other offensive to anyone. It's evolving. It's becoming much more than it ever was. It's turning into a beautiful creation. It was at one point a little sapling that you put in your front yard. And at this day, it's a beautiful maple tree that you decided to chop some of the branches off because you didn't like that. Whatever, I don't care what you do with your trees. I'm not an arborist. But it's becoming so much more. We're adding not only new features and new systems, new runes, we're trying to create an actual story and lore behind it. We've discussed this a little bit about, well, one of the other systems that is definitely coming soon that we will touch on. Yeah, put a tree in front of me. I'll tell you which one's better. We want the ether to become something. It's no longer just a word, you know? As we know it now, the ether is where we get the energy. Okay, the ether tenses and faith moves. But what does that mean? What is the ether? You know, we're trying to create an actual thing for it because it is a thing. It's an entity. It's an existence. It's all of this. So we're trying to expand and make it much more.
That is something that we've actually also
diverse.
talked about, Pegasus, is making runes secret again. You know, making things like that very much secret. We're going to give you riddles, that sort of thing, but making them discoverable. Like, we're going to add in world generation, like structures. We're going to create an entire citadel. It's kind of the idea. I think it was, and a lot of its functionality was a secret for a while, and then somebody posted it up and it got removed. Like, for instance, if you had iron ore, you could make it into iron blocks, because, yeah, that was what C-Tree liked to do. But yeah, we do plan on making runes secret again. We plan on making it so that way they are discoverable. You know, other than trial and error, they are going to be out there in the world as best as possible. Perhaps you'll find a book on it. You know, perhaps you'll find the rune itself. We're going to try to make it as best as we can and try to make it, yeah, that's what we plan on doing. We planned on doing a tier tree system as well, that you had to actually discover runes and such. Either discover runes or you had to go ahead and unlock them, that sort of thing. Like, we planned on doing that sort of stuff.
I gotta go, guys. I'll talk to you later.
Okay, see you, cousin.
Catch you later. Have a good one.
Mhm.
The other thing we've kind of discussed is, well, do you want to talk about the other hold and building it and all of that, or
That's gonna take a whole session, man. That's just.
that's probably its own video. Yeah, that's fair.
I mean, Aetherhold isn't what I think it is going to be anymore, because that was going to be our tier tree system. But the more I think about it, the more I'm going with possibly as you discover it in the world. I'm trying to think of the best way to put it. You know, discovering runes within the world, and it gets put into Aetherhold, and making it so that way each, because the idea originally was that everybody had their own Aetherhold. Everybody had their own way of going in and unlocking the stuff. But I don't know if that's going to be. Like, I like the idea of going out and discovering runes, but once you find all the runes, if you log down their area, you can just toss it over. But I still like the idea of Aetherhold being where you go and see, these are your runes. These are the runes that you've seen. Sure. If you want to post it up somewhere, you can. I can create a little development chat with me, with the developers, and then so that way nobody else can kind of see it. Basically, yeah. But it's going to be a dimension in which everybody's, like, it's not going to be strictly your dimension. It's going to be a dimension in which everybody. Yeah. It's going to be a dimension in which all of the Aether holds are, and everybody can, like, we're going to create structures for each player that activates the initiation rune. Yeah, it's going to be a big library of magic per player in one dimension. Is kind of the idea. We might go with, like, a book is always fairly difficult, at least with bucket oriented. That's why we're gonna go with the dimension oriented. So yeah. Yeah, they are.
So you have the Trello opened for anyone to look at the rewrite, correct?
I think so. Can you guys see the Trello? This one? You guys can see it? It's public enough that you guys can see it. Okay, yes. Totally. They don't have to be members.
So, right, I just wanted to be sure that they were able to see it before we talked about some of the stuff. Because I don't want them to be sitting there like, well, what are you?
Yeah, and I'll post that link in the chat later.
Gotcha. So, I've got to get on it. I keep forgetting to do it. Got to make a devlog of the API itself, and then I think we ought to do one actually discussing some of these systems that we're going to be putting in. What some of you guys may have noticed in what we have on Trello is the API, rune system, energy system, blah, blah, blah. What does this actually mean to you?
Absolutely nothing. No.
Nothing. It's worthless. It's just words. It's jumbles. Just ignore it. The API, we want it to be very user-friendly, very simple, and to the point that you can just wrap up a little package and hand it off. You write your rune. Everything is self-contained. You don't have to interface with us other than getting materials and what it does and the patterns and blah, blah, blah. But you can write this to do basically what you want. On the other hand, we want to add, this was, like I said, yeah, the DIY magic kit. This is Runecraft 4.0. You build your own Runecraft, and you're on your own for any problems from here on out. No, that's not right.
No.
Anyway,
no. The core Runecraft we plan on having our support. If you have problems with your own add-on, yeah, you can come ask us. We'll try to help you out, that sort of thing. If you guys want something specific from your add-on added into the core Runecraft, if it's something that we actually genuinely enjoy and like, yeah, we'll add it in. We'll even add in a little message, created by Weaver. If it's Pegasus, Weaver Pegasus. Runic Weaver Pegasus. Whoever created the rune, let us know. What do you want your name to be? That sort of thing. We'll add it in. But generally speaking, like, if you don't, C-Tree, Super Llama, and C-Tree, Super Llama, Xerix, there's going to be a lot of people on that list. C-Tree, I believe, created I think it's 60% of the runes, but I'm not quite sure. But yeah, he's gonna be pretty high up there.
But anyway, all jokes aside about you being on your own, you're really not. We're more than happy, and we'll provide as much documentation, get everything up and as we can. More what I was getting at, the future is more than just being able to build your own runes. We want you to be able to interface with Runecraft much more interactively. For instance, let's talk event handlers. You want to know, like I brought this example up before, You want to know when somebody's entered a levitation field. Okay, you want to give them $50 or a voting ticket or a diamond for their 50th entrance in a levitation field. Or every time somebody enters a levitation field, you want to send them a message that's just, you shaking your fist and yelling at you kids in my levitation field again. Different things like that. We want whatever is going on in Runecraft, you guys to be able to, you kids stay out of my levitation field, all right? I worked my whole life to earn this. We want you to be able to interface with it, right? Siege bow goes off. You want to know when that happens. That's fine. You want to know if somebody's transmuted this. Fine, go for it. We're going to try to add as much or as many events for you guys to listen to as possible, because we know that it's useful somehow. I may not be able to come up with a use case. Like I said, simply put, mine is going to be me shaking my fist, yelling at you kids to get out of my levitation field. But maybe you have a better idea. Well, fine, build it. You want something done, do it. It's, we're trying to add as much as we can. But not just adding runes, adding events. Well, let's talk Forge. You're now running with more blocks that don't have energy values associated with them. We're gonna try to write it so that we've got smart ways to detect blocks. But if you want to manually pass in and say, hey, I want to add this thing, and this is the value, stuff like that, you should be able to do that. We're trying to create a very usable environment for outside people to use. Not so much anymore that we're just in total control, because we'll still have Runecraft built the way we want it. It's still going to be the old way of doing things. It's just we want you as well to be able to do what you want without so much hassle.
Correct, Pegasus. There is we actually do some of the similar stuff. We do propagation of, if it has a recipe, pass it through, pass it through with what we know, kind of deal. But if it's if there is a world gen item like copper ore, for instance, if it requires copper, we don't know the energy value of that. So you manually set copper, boom. Now anything that requires copper, boom, we know. Yeah. Yeah, basically, but once you put in copper, we now know the recipe for copper gear, or we now know the energy value for copper gears if it's 4 copper in a stick. We now know the energy value for that. We know the energy value for basic machines, that sort of thing. As long as it's not something that requires, as you said, natural cores and random things that aren't craftable. As long as it's vanilla-based items, yeah, we'll know. But if it's not, then you'll have to manually pass that stuff in. We're gonna try to do stuff like Enderium, or not Enderium, but I can't remember what it is, but iron and gold or whatever. But basically, mixed materials. We're going to try to help with that sort of stuff, because we'll be doing a little bit of furnace processing as well. So we'll actually see furnace recipes. Yeah. So we'll actually be able to see all that, and but yeah, we'll be able to see furnace recipes, crafting recipes, brewing recipes. In theory, we're going to be able to do all that and say, hey, this is now the new energy for this item. You don't need to worry about calculating that in. We already did it for you. Here you go. Okay. Pretty much. An auto value binder based on prior information. Yeah. You know, we're going to try our best, but there are some things that we won't have. Yep, we already do that with the current Runecraft. All of that stuff is propagated. So if we change, you know, iron, it'll change everything that's an iron thing. Yep. Yep. So we count all of that in. We know exactly, as long as we know the recipe and everything within that recipe, it'll automatically do it. Correct. Which I'm pretty sure there's going to be a lot of stuff for a lot of stuff that's going to become tier 7 with with how stuff is in mod packs. A lot of stuff is probably going to become tier 7 because they require beacons or dragon eggs or nether stars. Like those things will automatically be tier 7. So there's going to be a lot more tier 7s in mod packs and such. That might be fun. Industrial craft for vanilla, that might be fun. So,
one other thing that I really wanted to touch quickly, which is kind of to how things are going, but I know people are going to want to know about. And this is totally configurable. The configuration part of our update will be in 4.0. And you will be able to configure a bunch of stuff. We like information. We like data. I don't know if that's because we're developers or if it's because we have sociopathic tendencies. We like knowing things. So what we're bringing in 4.0 is metrics for Runecraft. We're going to work on setting up a little site for this data to be seen by anyone that wants to view it. It's basically just saying how many people have acted levitation this year alone. How many people are using Runecraft? How many people are doing, etc. You know what I mean? We're trying in this to add a lot of information for people to see. It'll play with a couple of other systems. Maybe how much is the total energy in the world? How much who is the most afflicted by a certain thing, which we might talk about later. Different things like this. The main thing is we ourselves like to know which runes are being used the most. So who's using teleporters more than power pick? Or power tool, who's using this over this, which runes are relatively unused, things like that. We're going to have a way to track that, and again, you'll be able to disable it if you don't want to opt into it. We don't force you. This is data rights, all of that stuff. But if you want to if you authorize us to use this data and pull the information, then hey, we're going to track it. And we'll find out that there may be 480 million teleports used this month alone, which would be awesome to find out. But again, it's more for just, it's our information because we'd like to know, but it's kind of fun for you guys because, hey, you can see just how much Runecraft is being used globally for whatever reasons. Yes. You will, in the config, anything like that, you can obviously say, I don't want anything to do. the config that we're trying to provide is going to have a ton of options for you people. You want to change if the rune can be activated or activated or used independently, you're welcome to that. If you want to change energy values, you're welcome to that as well. You want to opt out of the metric system, you're welcome to opt out of that as well. You want to change the energy cost for certain things, you can do that. We're trying to make it as configurable as possible because not everyone wants certain things. We wanted vanilla, but not everyone wants. But yes, you can. It'll be one of the top options with a nice big comment that says, "Do you?" Yeah, exactly. I don't want you to know what I'm doing, so you'd set the value to false or whatever. You know what I mean? Well, maybe we're just gonna post on our own site, not on Bucket or Spigot, huh? Either way, we do understand. Oh yeah, no, you're not supposed to tell them that, Quartz. Now we're gonna get in trouble. Okay. For those that don't know, Quartz deleted his message that said when we secretly, anyway. Yes, we understand. No, I know I don't like being spied on. I don't want to push that any of you are. So if you don't want it, you don't want it. Simple enough. You can turn it off. And like I said, a lot of other config stuff is coming as well that if you don't like, you can turn off. Oh, and we are going to just roll in a bathtub full of your guys' data. I'm just pouring in just numbers and numbers of rune activations, and I'm just going to roll around in it for 20 minutes. That might be more comfortable, actually.
Of course, we always have that desire. So yeah. I just got back, by the way. I apologize. Is there any questions currently?
I haven't seen any. We're just kind of discussing being able to opt out of certain things. We finished discussing.
I will be
roles,
posting that
which-
whole thing for you, Husky. It's a good 2-hour video.
Yeah.
Plus, this is now a almost hour video. So
Oof.
3 hours. It's okay. Not long enough.
Right.
I agree. It's not 6 hours. I apologize.
It's okay, though, because for you people that want to know some of this stuff, a lot of this will be done in a recap in devlogs, because I promise we're doing them. It's just, it keeps slipping my mind.
Are there face cams in the video? Sadly not. I'm too ugly. I break the camera every time.
I think the only time I use a face cam is when I'm streaming, which, actually, you know, it might be kind of fun. Start doing development streams.
That's what I was thinking. I really wanted to start doing that at some point. Yeah, it was only audio. It's just audio. There's just a black screen. Also, Quartz, we're gonna need a face, a picture of your face to put up on the website. I've got everybody else's. I just need yours now.
The camera that we had implanted in your room is not
Miss Moth, I'm
appropriately sending the feed. Well, we've got hers because of the camera, you know.
Oh yeah.
That one that we had to take out last week because, you know.
The teddy bear cam. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, so that you know, data rights and all. probably shouldn't be saying much.
Anyway,
Devlogs and other videos will be coming out with a lot more information over time, much more specifically to each video. For example, we will be doing a we are behind the times. We'll be doing an API video. We'll be doing the kind of new systems video. We'll be talking about how things are going down the lines. Maybe a month from now, when we finally record one of these, we can talk about where we're at with the project. I swear we're getting on it. It's just things have been busy. I'm sorry. I'll take the blame for it.
And you began to engage with the clientele.
Yeah, clientele were speaking to me. You know, they were telling me about my marriage because I was over here.
Let's see here.
I let it
Yeah, we do plan on having, you know, if you guys would like, we do want to actually post up, hey, this, you know, what's the best way to put it? Wow, 3, it's Riv's faults, thank you. 4, there we go. Let's keep going. 5. Something that we do want to do is we do want to post up videos more often. We do want to post up a lot more stuff, but because of how much things are going to be changing in 4.0, we figured it's probably best to wait until that comes out. 1.13, for instance, is a major update. Like it literally breaks Runecraft. It's one of the reasons why we are doing 4.0. You know, having, you know, waiting until 4.0 comes out, like, that's our best bet for doing videos and that sort of stuff. We can do devlogs and such. We can do devlogs. We can do streaming. You know, development streams, that sort of thing. That's stuff that we do want to do and plan on doing. So it's just a matter of finding the time.
If she can't get past my mistakes, then I'm done.
But it's most likely gonna be level 80 doing the streams and such because my voice is terrible and I'm ugly. It's, you know, whatever.
Why are you reading off of my script?
Oh, I'm sorry. No, wait, this says Rivkin script.
No, but right here it says about obnoxious, annoying voice.
Yeah, that's me.
No, that's
So it's up
and
there
it's
at the
got an
top.
arrow pointing at my picture,
No,
which is not a very flattering picture of me, by the way. I don't think I even own that shirt anymore. Yes, the entire thing was scripted. We've been reading verbatim off of a piece of paper that we typed up and put on the break room window for about 15 minutes.
Yes.
We had like 15 minutes to rehearse it. It didn't go well. We gave up.
Dolphins broke Runecraft. Yeah.
Wait, Dolphins coming in 1.13.
Yeah, Dolphins are coming in 1.13.
Ooh, I cannot wait to make some great runes off of it.
Yeah, turtles as well.
I don't care about turtles. I just care about dolphins. I'm gonna make some obnoxious stuff.
I'm gonna wait till this goes up to an hour and then I'm gonna call this. But yeah, we really do want to make sure that you know everything is as good as it can. That's one of our major goals, and we do want a lot of feedback. We want a lot of stuff saying, hey, you know, this is how you guys can improve. This is, you know, what you guys can do to make this better. You know, we do want a lot of positive, if critical, like very critical feedback. No.
Okay, that's very true. We've been waiting so long for 1.13. It's making us physically sick. Every time we see another pre-release, it's like...
I think they're on pre-release 7 now, right? I know. I wanted to make a level 80 freak out a little bit.
I had to bite my tongue because the shriek that almost came out of my mouth would have been the most ungodly sound any of you would have...
Yeah, we're on 5 and there's still no release date, and that's kind of the major issue that we're having. Is just, yeah, we know, and but here's the thing. Spigot is waiting specifically for 1.13, and we can't do anything until Spigot does stuff. Like, we really can't. Bucket is, actually. Bucket is part of Spigot. Yes.
Yeah, has been for quite a while.
The Bucket team is technically dead. It's Craft Bucket, Bucket, and Spigot are all owned by are all currently being run by the Spigot company. Yeah, they did, but because of what happened with Wolf, it just, yeah. With what happened with Wolf, it just turned into a big fiasco, and they didn't want to deal with all that stuff.
But in the long run, there's going to be a few kind of neat things coming soon. Outside of Runecraft itself, we're looking at some better ways to submit your suggestions. Coming soon, basically coming when it's ready, which may be next week. It may be whenever we feel like doing it. You know, I'll be honest with you. Better ways to suggest and report bugs, things like this, so that we can create a much more uniform ecosystem of handling these things. It's just to make our workflow a little smoother, basically. And it would be fun to play around with Bungie as best we can. Because there's a few things that we could do that would be pretty fun.
Yeah. Well, Microsoft owns Mojang, and Mojang owns Bucket and all that sort of stuff. Like, it's because of the whole Wolf fiasco. After basically he saw that Mojang was picking up Bucket, he basically was like, "I copyrighted this. You can't do this." Like. So because of that, it just turned into a whole fiasco where now you can't build, like you can't just go and download Bucket or Spigot. It's you have to compile it yourself, and that's where things are just, yeah. So everything currently is being run by people did challenge it, actually. A lot of people challenged it, but they can see via annotations that, yeah, he wrote a bit of code that made Bucket what it was. Okay. That's fine by me, Court. Actually, we plan on doing that, but yeah. I don't know the specifics of it anymore because I just stopped paying attention to it, but yeah, I can probably find the whole thing. Yeah, sorry.
I guess the main takeaway of this is Runecraft 4, a lot of new stuff. It's still Runecraft, we promise.
Yeah.
But at the same time, there's... I'm trying to think of the best way to put this. We'll be releasing a lot more information over time. We're giving you guys more control. We're going to be 10% more vague on everything we say from this point forward. And each day that goes on, we're going to add at least 1% to our secrecy and conspiracies. look for new hidden runes in the future because we want to keep secrets from you. Realistically, we are going to add some new secret stuff again because we think it's fun. But it's not going to be like no one can know about it. You've got to decompile and deobfuscate it and all of it. No, we're going to have ways for you to know about it. We're going to have fun with it. We're going to do riddles and stuff like that. But there is going to be a lot coming to Runecraft. There's a lot of new changes. We're super excited for a lot of them. I get kind of jittery and anxious to a couple of them because I'm going to slurp up all your data and know about all your usages, which is going to be fun. But
Re-secret Hell's Maw, yes. We're going to change the pattern in such a way. But no, like we really do want to make Runecraft fun for everybody. We want to give the power to, we want to give power to the admins. We don't want to give them everything. We like by everything I mean like the players and the admins should still, and this was a major thing that, you know, we wanted to keep from the previous one, was that admins and players have the same amounts of power. Yes, admins can disable stuff, that sort of thing, but we want to keep them on even footing. Everybody has access, you know, to the same stuff. You know, if it's disabled, yeah, that's admin prerogative, but you get what I mean? Like by default, like everybody has access to the same stuff. Yeah. You know, the only thing that really changes is like the debug stuff. Like that's stuff that we kind of said, okay, you can pretty much break everything with this, so we're going to limit it. But yeah, we want to give everybody access to everything. By default, we want everybody to be on equal footing. You know, we have no intention of deviating from that. You know, and the major thing here is, and because somebody's probably going to bring it up, why did we go to the energy system? Literally, it's because we wanted to. Generally, we wanted to just make uses everything. You know, we wanted to make uses streamlined. Everything has uses. Just compile them all into one little thing, so that way, you know, you don't run out of the tool. You know, that's why we also did the auto engrave. You know, you don't run out of the tool. You know, unless it breaks, you don't run out of it. You don't have to recreate. You just have to gain more uses. You just have to go out, you know, gather more energy. You know, energy equals uses, essentially. Yes, we really are excited for making Runecraft for Forge. That is something that Level 80 and I are both kind of going, yes. It's going to be hell, but we are excited for it as well.
Just because we know how much fun it's going to be.
Oh, yeah.
Also, the other thing that we've kind of talked about, the Runecraft official server being a nice playground and testing grounds. It's a nice way for us to build a community, but it's also just kind of a place for us to test. Did we break anything? Or, I mean, does this even work? It's a good way for us to kind of do some of this. We're also kind of thinking about maybe doing a Forge server too when it comes time. Just hint, hint. All of them. Each and every one that exists. We're putting them on twice. That way we can break as much as possible.
Yeah, exactly. Thoughts on mods?
No, actually not much.
We haven't thought much on the mods. Yeah, basically, you know, we're going to add some of the more staple mods like Thaumcraft, Blood Magic, you know. basically, we're going to grab the Direwolf 20 pack and just toss that on there. Direwolf 20 2.0 pack, I think it is right now. We're going to essentially grab kind of the more staple mods and test that with Runecraft. Can you transfer things with faith? That's one of the major things is, can you transfer things with faith? And with what's coming in 1.13, it's the most likely because IDs are going away. It's going to be strictly name-based. So all we got to do is say name. We don't have to worry about metadata or all that sort of stuff. We just have to worry about NBT. Wow. Point in the video in which all the silences.
It's for dramatic effect.
Pretty much, yeah. No, I am not, because that would just eat up my memory. That would eat up all of my memory.
There'll probably be a few little screenshots slapped on here or there, like, here's
Maybe.
where we were discussing this, and
Probably.
and there's just a Picard face palming in the bottom. I mean, who really?
But no, we are looking at Forge. We're looking at Sponge. We're looking at Bucket. Everything. Technically, yes. You can eat somebody's memory if there's no memory to be eaten, because then you just go eat the thing that ate the memory, and thus, boom, you eat it.
It's like a fish always eating a smaller fish, or there's always a bigger fish to eat the fish.
Exactly. So you ate the smaller fish, technically. But yeah, we do want to, we want to make sure that you guys have the best time. And that's our major #1 goal, is you guys having a good time. Yes, we want to make sure that Runecraft is balanced, as balanced as we can, default-wise.
Well,
But
that and the world domination thing.
exactly.
I mean, that's also on the docket.
But we also want the admins to be able to customize it to their worlds and see if they can make it balanced for themselves. We want to make sure that you guys are happy. Even if, we want to make sure that you guys are happy because you guys are able to change things as you need it. You guys may not be happy with the default, but you guys will be happy with, the changes that you can make. I don't think we will.
Oh, absolutely.
I think that with all the changes that are going to be coming and being able to change it themselves, I don't know if there's going to be a lot of that. If there is, yeah. Yeah.
This is true. And this is where we're going to have a really big PR push of what all has changed and why it's such a significant thing.
We're also going to try to make sure that it's understood. Yes, Altar of Judgment by default is this. But your server owner, well, actually, your server owner can't change it because our patterns are going to be strictly static. It's more the functionality that you can change. And I think Altar of Judgment's going to be one of those static ones that isn't going to be allowed to be changed because of what it does. But,
But
you can change how teleporter works. You can add particle effects. You can add, disable safe teleportation, that sort of thing.
regardless, I can see it coming back and people saying, "Can I use?" I don't know why my mic's cutting out. People saying, "Why can I use this rune on this server but not on this one?" I can see that coming back as. Which again, it's going to be our duty to make sure that everyone understands there is no quote unquote standard runecraft anymore. There's
I know.
there is a standard, but there is no standard.
Well, that's the thing, Husky, is I create a add-on. I add a new rune to it. How can I send an error message on other servers if I don't even know what that pattern is? Yeah. Yeah, that's one of the major issues. Yeah, that's why it's gonna be one of the things that you won't be like. Patterns are strictly not gonna be changed if it's from the core, and that's because we want to keep that kind of, that static. We want to make sure that you can't change that. But I do see where you're coming from, Pegasus, of the suggesting to make it an option in the config instead of ripping a thing out. Back then, 3.1.1, 3.x essentially, yeah, that was a major issue. Like, we couldn't just add it as a config option. Like, you don't understand. For instance, I'm looking at Runecraft Undercursor main of the old one. 4,757 lines. And it's just, yeah. Yeah, a lot of stuff is, yeah.
Basically, what I've tried to explain when you look at it, when Runecraft was first created, multiverse wasn't a thing. So it doesn't play super well with multiple worlds. It does now better than a while back, but it was never really designed to work with it. Just like it was never really designed to work with config stuff and all of the other stuff that we're doing. 4.0 is going to be more of a modern craft than it is an upgrade to Runecraft.
Correct.
It's a new Runecraft, but it's all the same old stuff that you loved, and I don't know the best way to explain it. We're building it now with more intention of the future and what could be a possibility and what's currently available. And we may have to rewrite it again 5 years down the road when something new comes out. We don't actually know. So it's less of just write it and then try to maintain it at this point. We're just trying to write for what's available in the future. And that's true. There's probably less in the future. But
yeah, basically there's going to be an FAQ. There's going to be an FAQ page. There's going to be an FAQ on the Discord, Twitter, Facebook, every one of our social media sites. Like, there's going to be FAQ everywhere. Trust me. We're going to do that. Well, now you got to get some. Yeah, but we really do want you guys to have the best experience with Runecraft. We really, really do. We really want you guys to have fun and enjoy it and not have to worry about, everything breaking, for instance. Like, we really want to say, hey, this is a bug, yes, we're going to fix it real quick. Because right now, with 3.x, that's not really possible. Like, 3.x, like, literally a bug being fixed is like changing 5 different files.
Yup.
And while that may not sound like a lot, those 5 different files have like 3,000 lines of code each. Yeah, right. At that point, we're going. Yeah, it's a feature totally. Oh, you're able to dupe for no energy. You know, iron pickaxes. Great. No, that's totally a feature.
Yeah, it's like when Power Tool just randomly started being able to go different. You can now use Power Tool over a 3x3. You can set it up to a 15. I'm not sure why it does that, but hey, we wrote it to do it, I guess. Because I mean, that's what people wanted, right? Right? Isn't that what happened?
Yeah, pretty much. No, we want you guys to have fun and enjoy it. And yes, Pegasus, you will be able to do stuff more for skin runes if that's what you truly desire. You know, flight being a skin rune. Technically speaking, because of the stuff that will be going on with it, you could technically do an add-on that overwrites a ton of things, and you could make it so that way Runecraft is essentially back to the way it was before 3.x, only with all the new stuff. Like, it's going to be difficult, but you could. Yeah, you could technically have it so that way it's no energy. It's, entirely... Yeah, you could go back to the uses system. You could make it so that way it doesn't auto-engrave. You could do all that sort of stuff.
Which would be obscenely obnoxious to try to do.
And
But
it's
if
going to
that's
be fairly
really what
difficult,
suits your fancy, then
yeah.
I mean,
If you want to take the 300-400 hours that it would take to do that, yeah, you could do that. I mean, it's taken us like what 1,000 hours to write all this stuff. More. Yeah.
Something like that.
So, yeah, you could technically do that. Oh, it definitely involves writing Java. Well, writing in Java. Maybe not writing Java itself, but yeah, you have to write in Java. Hey, it's a lot better than it could be. We could be doing Python. So many dislikes after that comment. Yep. Right? But I think I'm going to close this here. If you guys want to, if you guys have any more questions or anything, say it. Right now, I think 15 minutes, I'm going to close this out.
And you can ask in general.
Yeah, you can ask in general in here, questions or whatever. No, Husky, we do not plan on coding in Python for Runecraft because I don't think Python correlates well with Java. Yeah, so there you go. But yeah, go ahead and ask questions, at any point in time. And people, if you are watching on YouTube, ask your questions in the comments below. We'll get to them eventually. We do kind of watch it. It takes a little while because Love Lady and I are both fairly busy. And I think we're the only two that have access, really. But, anybody who really wants to can reply. And, hey, Discord link is in the description as well. If you guys want to just join the Discord if you guys aren't already, and then just message us directly. I think that's about it, though. What do you guys think?
I think that hits basically everything. And I mean, anything that we didn't cover, like I said, we'll put video.
Yeah. I mean,
Like the devlog of them. That it's totally happening.
Yeah. So this is a good hour and 20-minute video now. So I'm gonna end it, and I'm gonna go prep for D&D now. So
Well, that sounds like fun.
Right? So if you guys have anything that you need to know, let me know. Let us know. Yeah. But I also I'm just gonna post this up raw. Like I'm not even gonna care about editing. Just gonna post this up raw.
I guess it's not the end of the world.
No, it's not. So you guys have a good time and enjoy yourselves. If you guys have any other questions, comments, or concerns, let me know. Enjoy. And Pegasus, that sucks. Bye, guys.